friends, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for coming back if you've been here before. Today we are doing a pick a card reading on what's going on. So if you are single, what's going on, what's taking so long? We are going to look at your energy, at your soulmate's energy, and we're going to try to get as much information as we possibly can. So I have three options today. Option number one is Princess Snow White and Florian from the Snow White, I guess you can say, fairy tale. Option number two is the Two of Cups from the Seer's tarot deck. And option number three is the Two of Cups from the Modern Love tarot deck. So pause the video if you need to. Ask yourself which pile, or maybe piles, have a message for you. And let's do a quick reading breakdown. So let's talk about what to expect for this reading. That way you know if this is the reading that you want to listen to. So we're going to start by looking at your current energy and the current energy of your soulmate. This could be someone that you already know. This could be someone that you have not met. We are then going to move into just the blockages that are happening for each of you. So we're going to look at your current blockages, their current blockages. We will look at the root cause of those blockages. Any beliefs around love, we're also going to take a look at. So your beliefs around love, your person's beliefs around love. And we are going to be looking at what needs to be released. So, you know, what do you need to let go of in order to move forward? And for this part, I'm really only looking at your energy because we're not talking to your person, right? We're talking to your energy. We are also going to look at just tips for healing, and this is also going to be just for you. And we have some additional cards that are going to serve as advice, as well as some cards that I will be shuffling live on camera. So if that sounds like something that you want to listen to, stay tuned. If not, it is okay if you drop off. Have a great day. But let's jump into the actual reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Two of Cups. And this is from the fairy tale. This is Princess Snow White and Prince Florian. So we are going to place that right here. As a reminder, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I also did do a reading breakdown at the beginning, which is time-stamped below. I highly suggest you check that out because that will let you know if this reading is for you, if this is something that is going to work for you. So we are going to start by looking at your current energy and the current energy of your soulmate. This could be someone that you already know, someone that you are already aware of. This could be someone that you've never met. So take it as it resonates, but we are looking at current energy, where you are both at this point in time. So let's start with your energy. Oh, we have the dragon and the fire ant. We also have air and patience. And for your person, their current energy is coming in as the crocodile, the owl. Then we have growth. And finally, we have storms. Okay. So for this part, my intention is that my viewer is on the left. It could be that you are on the right. But if neither one of these energies represents where you are currently at, then this is probably not your reading. And that is okay. But let's get started with the dragon energy, because in this deck, we have the four elements, and then we also have a little bit of like the spirit energy, which isn't an element, it just represents spirit, and it's more of the mythological creatures, or more of like mythology associated energies. And For you, pile number one, we have the dragon representing you along with the fire ant. We also have air and patience. So we have a little bit of everything. We have fire energy here with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have air energy here with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We also have earth energy with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So we have a little bit of everything, and we'll talk about your person when we get there. But your current energy, pile number one, is one that is very spiritual. There is a lot of focus here on your personal growth, on your spirituality, if you will. Um, what's interesting about my pile number ones is that my dragon person is kind of there's a bit of push and pull in your energy here because we have the dragon, then we have the fire ant, we have air, and then we have patience. So this feels like you are kind of going back and forth between it's going to happen, my person is going to come in, this is going to materialize, I am going to be patient. And then you may move into overthinking, overanalyzing it, feeling impatient, feeling like it's taking a bit too long to come together. So there is a little bit of back and forth here, and there is an energy of overthinking at this time of maybe you feel like you reach a point where you are okay, where you trust in the universe, where you trust that what is meant for you is not going to pass you. But then there are times where you become a little bit impatient and you start to wonder what's taking so long. You may start to doubt yourself. You may start to doubt your intuition because you are someone who is very intuitive. You do know that there is someone out there for you. And for those of you who know who the person is, like you are aware of who that is and that is your person. But again, we're humans, right? So there seems to be at times a little bit of push and pull, a little bit of like, I'm okay with this. And then at times I am growing very impatient with this. Right now for my dragon, there is a lot of focus on yourself, on the internal world, on spirituality, on the things that you want to create in your life. And I do feel for my dragon, you are someone who is very disciplined. You are someone who you know what you want and you are willing to wait for that. So for my dragon, you are not someone who is going to take any offer just because it's there, meaning that you are going to wait for what it is that you desire. And if the wrong person approaches you, you are not just going to, give that energy, give that attention just because it's available. And for my dragon, it does feel like spirituality right now is a very big focus in your life. I also do feel my dragon is very clairvoyant, very clairsentient, so clear seeing, clear feeling. I do feel this is someone who has a lot of gifts, especially when it comes to seeing what could be and connecting to intuition, connecting to what's possible, and connecting to what will be. And we do have a lot of air energy here, where I do think at times you tend to overthink, but I also think part of your gifts revolve around being able to hold a vision and see something for yourself. I do feel for the dragon, most of you are already connected to this crocodile person, whether you've met them or not, meaning that you can sense their energy. You know that your soulmate is out there. You know that your person is out there. And again, there's a level of I'm going to be patient because I know that this is going to be right for me. But at the same time, I'm human and I grow impatient, and sometimes I struggle to hold the vision. I struggle to hold, to be where I am at and be okay with where I am at. And one thing about my dragon is that you are someone who has a lot of passion, a lot of creativity. So if you're currently feeling restless, finding something to really tune that energy in and express that energy through would be very helpful. But overall, currently, the dragon person here is really focused on self and on growth and on doing what needs to be done to be the best version of yourself. And for some of you, that really does involve a lot of like spiritual practice, if you will. And I do want to talk about the crocodile now. And we do have water and air being represented here. So the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the air signs, Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We do have a little bit of earth energy as well. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Those don't necessarily have to be the signs. I'm just giving them as extra confirmation. But your person's current energy is one of hermit. This person is in hermit mode right now. We have the crocodile and we have the owl representing your person. Your person has withdrawn. Your person is minding their business and taking care of themselves. So there is a little bit of mirroring here, but I do feel the dragon person is a bit more ready and a bit more impatient at times than the crocodile, because it does feel that I do feel that the crocodile is really going within. The crocodile is really focused within at this time. And one thing about this crocodile owl person is that they have patience. They have almost never ending patience. Pile number one, I really do feel that about this crocodile, at least at this point in time. They are taking their time. They are going within. They are focused on themselves. And this could have to do with just outside factors of what's happening in their life. But this is someone who right now, they're truly like, this is someone where they are okay being single, where they are okay spending time with themselves, where they are okay focusing on themselves. And that is a very conscious choice that is being made here by this crocodile. I will also say that for many, the crocodile is going within because they've been going through some personal things that they are working through. This could have to do with work. This could have to do with a project. This could have to do with personal growth. I do feel for most of you, both energies are presenting as single. Both energies are presenting as they're not really in connection or in a relationship. If you know your situation and you know that's not true, I would say if either of these people are involved with someone else in a romantic sense, it's almost like it's coming to an end and they are already disconnected. But I will say for the grand majority of people watching pile number one, both of these people are single and both of these people are kind of, especially for the dragon is in a place of I am just going to focus on myself and wait for the right person to pop up. For the crocodile, it's more of I'm just focused on myself. I don't really think that the crocodile is necessarily thinking about love or relationships right now. And I do think that the crocodile is very focused on their finances and on simply becoming the best version of themselves. Because the crocodile here is very focused on abundance and on security. So this could be someone that has decided that they just want to grow their abundance, and it's really giving more of when the time is right and this person pops in, I will be here, I will welcome in the energy. But this doesn't feel like someone that is necessarily seeking energy or seeking someone. And I will say for the dragon, it does feel like the dragon is in a similar place, but I feel like the dragon is more open to someone coming in and trying to talk to them, and the dragon would be more receptive to that energy. It's just that the dragon is very clear about what they want, so they're not really allowing just anyone in. Um, but yeah, that's the overall energy for both of you that's coming in. And for those of you who don't know who this person is, who this crocodile person is, I would not be surprised if you haven't met them. For some of you, I do think you already know who this is. And yeah, the crocodile is just doing the best that they can with what they have at this point in time. And there's a lot going on within that is getting in the way of them focusing on other things, on other outside things at this time. So we're going to look at what the current blockages are. So let's look at current blockages. And I picked 2 cards for you and 2 cards for this person, for your soulmate. But let's take a look at current blockages for my pile number 1s for my dragon. We have the Strength card and the Fool. And these are blockages in love. And then for the crocodile, we have the crocodile is going through it. The 9 of Wands, wow, and the 3 of Swords. Okay. So I want to start by talking about the blockages that my dragon, which for most of you, I would say for, if not most of you, if not all of you, most of you, is going to be the dragon. So what's interesting is that the current states are somewhat similar, but the blockages themselves are quite different. And when it comes to love, my dragon person is a bit blocked by fear at this point in time. There is a level of fear here. I do feel that the dragon is being very cautious, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there is a lot of caution here, especially when it comes to letting in the wrong person. This is something that the dragon person absolutely is trying to avoid of, I don't want to open up and get hurt by the wrong person. I don't want to waste time with the wrong person. I don't want to give the time and energy to the wrong person. And I think at times that's where a little bit of that like back and forth and overthinking comes in. Because I think that sometimes what happens for the dragon is that you're very intuitive, and sometimes you pick up on energy and you can't quite tell why. And what I mean by that is, for example, my dragon person could meet someone, and this person appears to be a great person. They appear to, check off all the boxes, and they appear great on paper. But it could be that you pick up something that just doesn't feel right, something that feels off. And you may doubt yourself. You may go through a period of like, but why am I doubting myself? Or am I right? Am I being too harsh here? And then what happens is you realize you were right, because you're very intuitive. You are very good at reading people. You are very good at reading people's energies as well. So when it comes to blockages, this isn't really a blockage for my pile number 1s. And I think a lot of what's blocking this from coming together has to do with this crocodile, which we'll talk about very soon. But I would say the blockages around love for my pile number 1s, for my dragon person, has more to do with, sometimes doubting yourself, having a very clear understanding about what it is that you want, and sometimes analysis paralysis coming in and really taking over. So again, if you know that something is not for you, don't let anyone try to talk you into it. Don't let anyone try to guilt you into it. And this is true in all areas of your life, pile number 1, but especially when it comes to connections, not just romantic, but any sort of connection. Because you are quite bang on when it comes to reading people. I will also say a blockage that my pile number 1s, that my dragon person may go through, is around opening yourself up. And there are some fears around opening up. And I think that sometimes the walls are very high, but again, they're there for a reason, and you know what you want and you know what you don't want. But sometimes you start to question yourself about, should I let this person in? Am I being too harsh? Am I reading the situation correctly? One thing I will say that is being encouraged for my pile number ones, the dragon person here, is having more fun, being more open to having fun, and not necessarily assuming that you know exactly how things are going to unfold. And that's coming in for some of you. For some of you, be a little bit more open to how things can unfold. Because you may have an idea of like, the only way this can happen or the only way this can work is X, Y, and Z. And that's not necessarily true. But when we talk about the crocodile and we talk about the blockages in love for the crocodile, we have the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords. And I'm not surprised to see these cards here because of the current energy the crocodile is presenting in. With the Three of Swords here, there's a lot of heartbreak that this crocodile has been through and that this crocodile is currently dealing with. There's a lot of pain here. There's a level of grief that the crocodile is still going through. And one thing that the crocodile is doing is realizing their role in how things have turned out for them. This is someone who is now taking accountability for their role in past relationships, but I think in their life as a whole. And this isn't to say that the crocodile is not a good person, because I don't think that at all. But this is to say that this could be someone that is finally realizing how to take accountability and how to take control of their life. And I will say, part of what the crocodile, part of the blockages that this crocodile person is dealing with is struggling to open up, struggling to trust people. Again, this is someone who is in hermit mode. We have a crocodile and an owl representing this person. And even if you look at the colors here, this is daylight. This is bright and open, right? The fire ant and the dragon. But when we look at these two energies here, this is night, this is darkness, this is shadow. This person is currently working through their shadow self, through their shadow aspects. And a lot of the blockages that this person is currently dealing with is holding on to old stories. And I think for some, the crocodile has had their heart broken, or they've had very difficult relationships. And I know that my dragon person is probably thinking, yeah, me too. But this crocodile really took this to heart, and I think that they are still healing from that. They are still working on opening themselves up and realizing, again, what their part in that was, but also that that doesn't have to be the story going forward, that that doesn't have to be the way everything is going to turn out. And one thing that the crocodile is really focused on right now is, again, personal growth and taking responsibility, accountability for the life that they are living. And for many of the crocodiles, that includes making changes. And that is the focus right now. For many of them, they are really focused on their money. They're really focused on not only, making money, but really feeling secure within themselves. So I really do feel, again, these two people, to me, for the grand majority, feel like they are very single at this time. Let's take a look at the root cause. So what is the root? What's causing these blockages for each of you? So we are going to start with my dragon person. And I dropped those. The King of Pentacles and the Sun. And I'm actually going to pause this to grab the cards that I dropped. Sorry about that, pile number one. I tried my best to pick them up. I did see one card, but the other ones I was able to pick them up, but they may be reversed in there. for your person's root cause. So what's the root cause of these blockages? Let's take a look at your person. Pile number 1. This person now has the 3 of Swords out here on this board twice. They are going through it, and we're going to talk about it. And the 2 of Swords. Okay. So as far as the origin for these blockages, and I want to say, and this is not a contest, but I do feel that the dragon is pretty far ahead, especially when it comes to, in comparison to the crocodile. And I will say, I think part of, if I had to pick, just based on what I've seen so far, part of what's taking so long is not you. It's not the dragon person, it's the crocodile person is just not ready. But when it comes to the origin of the blockages that we just talked about, we have the King of Pentacles and the Sun for the dragon person. And part of that has to do with, again, and I said this when I was reading the current energy, my dragon person knows exactly what they want. My dragon person knows what they deserve. This is not someone who's going to casually date someone they are lukewarm about just because they're available. This is someone who, and I think for many of my dragons, you've probably been single for a very long time because you're holding off. You are waiting for what it is that you desire, for what it is that you want. And that's the energy here. It's, my blockages are, again, I am not just going to let anybody else in. Why? Because you have standards. Why? Because you know your worth. Why? Because you've done the work. This is someone who's done a lot of healing work. And one thing that I do want to say is that I do feel the crocodile is a soulmate. This could be a divine counterpart. They're just a little further behind on their spiritual evolution than the dragon. But this does feel like this is a soulmate, a divine counterpart energy coming through for you. And I think for some of you, you may be growing a bit impatient. And for some of you, you may be even doubting, like, could this possibly be my soulmate? Could this be my person? If they're struggling to catch up. But it's because, again, you're being represented by a dragon. That is a mythical creature. This person is being represented by a crocodile. That is a very earthly creature. So, pile number 1, you just know what your standards are. And you know what you want. And again, there's just a little bit of caution here of just like keep an open mind and don't be so quick to write something or someone off, or to know you know exactly how things have to unfold. That's the biggest one. Like, you don't necessarily know how things are going to unfold, so keep an open mind. Now, when we talk about the crocodile and the origins of what's going on with them, we basically have the 3 of Swords clarifying the 3 of Swords. This crocodile person has been hurt. This could be someone that is currently divorced. This could be someone that went through a long-term relationship and they got their heart broken. I do feel there was a very significant relationship for the crocodile that ended, and I want to say for many of them, probably in betrayal. And that really left them feeling very, very hurt. And I want to give this crocodile person, I want to give him props. Because this isn't someone who's just jumping into something to get over something else. This is someone who is taking their time to heal, who is taking their time to do the work. And I think that that deserves recognition, and that deserves, I mean, props, right? It's bare minimum, but at the same time, props, because not everybody does that. Some people will just continue to move on with their pain and continue to move forward. But this crocodile has had to learn how to, and they're still learning how to trust themselves and how to really trust their own instincts. And that's something that the dragon has already mastered, that the crocodile is still mastering. So when it comes to what's going on for the crocodile, the root cause of these blockages and this pain, it really has to do with, for some, it's going to be very specific to heartbreak through a relationship. For others, it's some sort of betrayal that could have happened as far back as childhood, or this could be someone that really had a difficult childhood. It could be both. But there's a lot of indecision here that they are currently working through. And one thing that I will say is that the crocodile is at a place where they're now making choices and they're now making forward movement. That's coming in very clearly. Let's look at the current beliefs in love when it comes to my dragon and when it comes to the crocodile. So we have the Eight of Swords with ballerina, and it says feelings of entrapment may be self-imposed. Change your perspective and you'll discover that your way forward is clearer than you thought. And then we also have the King of Cups with Prince Eric, and this is, I believe, Little Mermaid. And it says your emotional maturity and wisdom are your crown. Use your authority to maintain harmony and balance in your life and relationships. And then we have, for your person, Queen of Hearts with the Three of Swords, and it says embrace. Stop. I don't look at these cards before I do the reading. This is the third Three of Swords this person has. Embrace your pain and grief, for healing begins with acknowledging the hurt. In time, the storm will pass and your heart will mend. And then we also have the Six of Wands with Megara, with victory and recognition are yours. Your perseverance has paid off, and now is the time to bask in the glory of your achievements. Yeah, your person is working very hard. All right, so let's talk about beliefs in love when it comes to the dragon. So one thing that I will say for the dragon is that be mindful about your beliefs around love, because this keeps coming up. Be mindful when it comes to what you believe is true, what you believe has to happen, how you believe things need to unfold, because that can be a little bit of, I almost want to say that can kind of get in the way at times. But overall, it's very interesting because the dragon has a lot of back and forth energy. And it almost presents as like at one point the dragon is absolutely 100% sure that love is out there, that their person is out there, that they're going to get exactly what they want, and that they're not going to settle for less. And then the anxiety may set in, and then they start to doubt themselves. They start to wonder if their person really is out there. And it feels like there's a tug of war within the dragon person. That's the energy that they kind of keep going back and forth on of, I know what I want, I know what this is, my belief is that my person is out there, and if I can't have this, I don't want anything at all. But then there's a little bit of a sneaking in of, I don't know. I mean, am I right? Am I pushing away someone who could be for me? So when it comes to beliefs in love for my dragon person, it's almost like it depends on the day and it depends on the energy. And that's a very human thing, right? Like we are constantly, especially when we have strong emotions about something, we can absolutely let those emotions take control. But one thing that my dragon person is really being encouraged to do is find balance and really sit within the truth of what you know. And one thing that keeps coming up as almost a warning is being mindful of being too rigid, being mindful of being so sure of what you know that you do not allow space for what you do not know. Because in reality, humans, as we are, there is a lot that we just don't know. Now, when it comes to the crocodile person and their current beliefs around love, they are currently healing their beliefs around love, and they are moving from a belief that love was pain, that love was not worth it, that love was only going to lead to heartbreak, into a belief of there is an opportunity for success in love. And this crocodile person is doing so much healing that they are moving from this Three of Swords into the Six of Wands. They are moving into this energy of, you know what? My soulmate is out there. Just because I've been through certain experiences doesn't mean that that has to be the experience. And that's why they're taking so much time to go within. And I also think that the crocodile is working on being their best self so that they can attract the person that it is that they want. And I will say, for some of you, you may already know who this is, and they are kind of just going within and working on themselves. And for some of you, if you know who this is, meeting you and your standards and who you are could have been the catalyst that this crocodile person needed to be the best version of themselves. And that's not to say that, you change someone or anything like that, because ultimately we are all responsible for our own change, for our own lives. But it does feel like, for those of you that know who this is, you had a big part in, I almost want to say you had a big part in inspiring this person to grow. And that's a beautiful thing, because they have, we have three of swords for this person. That is so much heartbreak. That is so much pain. That is so much betrayal. That is so much grief. But they're pushing forward and they're pushing out of it. And I just admire this person. And if by chance you're watching this and you identify as a crocodile, just know that you're doing a great job and that you have such a bright future ahead. But let's keep going. Let's look at what needs to be released. And for this portion, I just pulled cards for my viewer, because we can't really give the message to the other person, can we? So we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. Wow, second time we have the Six of Wands. So what needs to be released in order for this to come through? And let me be completely honest. Pile number one, if you truly identify as the dragon person, I would be gaslighting you if I said that this is something that this isn't coming together because of you. It takes two to tango. It takes two to be in a relationship. But I do feel that spirit and just the crocodile's higher self has not brought this together because of the healing that the crocodile is going through. And that is giving my dragon person a chance to do some healing on their own, but it's not necessarily the dragon's energy that is keeping this from happening. But when it comes to what needs to be released for you, my viewer, with the Page of Swords and the Six of Wands, what needs to be released is one, and this isn't going to be an easy thing, right? This is a very, it's almost ridiculous to say this in the way that I'm going to say it, because I recognize that it's not easy, but grounding your energy, especially when the anxiety comes in, especially when the overthinking comes in, when that voice tells you you're not going to meet the person, when that voice is whispering to you, it's taking too long. It's about finding ways to ground your energy, especially when it is restless, and letting go of the doubts that may show up. And again, it feels like a push and pull, because it feels like you're very spiritual. It feels like you are very in tune with your higher self. But again, we're all human. So there are those moments and times where those doubts come in. And what both of these cards are talking about is that self-doubt. What both of these cards are talking about is those moments in time where you may feel a bit pessimistic, where you may feel a bit hopeless, where you may indulge in overthinking, overanalyzing, and telling yourself stories that are simply not true. That is what needs to be released by my viewer, because the rest of this is allowing this other person to do the work and to come in. And I will say, if you watch this and you're watching this and you are feeling upset, you are feeling like, I don't want to deal with this, you can absolutely decide that you want to explore something with a different soulmate, because you are the co-creator of your life. You can cut the cord to this and say, this is not what I'm waiting for. But I will say, for some of you, you would be missing out, because I do think this is an amazing person. And I also want to emphasize that this crocodile's energy is their current energy. We're not looking at everything that they are. This is just where this person is at right now. And I highly recommend looking at different videos where you see everything that they are, because I do think this is someone who is very loving, very caring, who has the ability to be a provider, who has the ability to really show up and be the best version of themselves. But I just wanted to mention that, even if it's just for one of you, but that's what's coming through. Let's take a look at just healing, practical steps for healing. And we have 3 cards. 3 of Pentacles, King of Cups, and again, this is for my viewer, and the 10 of Swords. Just because we can't give practical steps to the other person because they're not watching this. But when it comes to practical steps for healing, or what you can do to just move through this period of time where you are waiting, is, first of all, really connect to the people that you love. Really find community. And if you don't have people available that you can connect to, that you can, have fun with, that you can do things with in the meantime, it's time to find that community. It's time to really connect and find what works for you, because that is what you are being called to do at this time. This is also saying, really, again, grounding yourself, really making sure that you're not thinking worst case scenario. And when you are catching yourself and saying, hey, thank you for sharing, ego, thank you for sharing, but that's not true. My person is out there. I want this person and they want me, and I am manifesting this person and they are manifesting me, and this is going to come together. I think meditation for my pile number 1s would be very helpful as well, especially as you are moving through this. For some of you, journaling, where you can journal out your feelings, your thoughts, especially when you feel you are overthinking, overanalyzing, that could be very, very important as well. And understanding that your new beginning is a lot closer than what you think. And I think for many of you, by June 2025, you will have met this person. You will have, for some of you, met this person. For others of you, reconnected with this person. But let's see what else we have here. All right, so I picked just some blockages, and these could apply to you, to your person, to both of you. Take these as they resonate. First, we have boundaries. You need to hold good boundaries so you don't feel violated. And I will say, for my pile number 1s, my dragon, I think you're pretty good at boundaries. I think you've had to learn boundaries, and I think that the crocodile is learning boundaries at this time. And one thing that this relationship, this connection is going to have is mutual respect. We also have not committed, always chasing or being chased. You must be willing to commit to one person. And one thing here is that the dragon is not accepting anything but commitment. The dragon is not accepting anything less than what the dragon knows they deserve. And I also feel like the crocodile right now is really focusing on self. But once the crocodile moves through this period of time, they will be seeking commitment. And then we have being needy, sorry. Make friends and spend time by yourself to take the pressure off of your relationship. And again, this specific message really coming through for the viewer of making sure that you're spending time with loved ones, making sure that you are filling your time up and not over focusing on what you don't have yet. And then finally, we have fixing them. You can't fix someone. They have to want to change. Accept them or let them go. And that is a message that is coming through here of, and the good thing is this person is doing their work. And if you know who this is and you are interested in waiting for this and letting them do their healing and being on their healing journey, giving them the space to do so. And for those of you that haven't met this person, this is again that message of they are working on themselves, they are focusing on themselves, and once they are ready, the meeting will happen. Let's take a look at what else we have here. We have distance. The separation you are experiencing is necessary to help the relationship grow. For those of you that know this person, just know that this time, this separation, I want to say for some of you, even a no contact situation is helping both of you, but especially the crocodile person be where they need to be. And for those of you that never have met this person, this time that this crocodile is taking, because again, for most of you, you are the dragon, is for the best. Because if this comes together and both of you are not in the best place, it wouldn't have the best chance. And again, because I know some of you get upset, you can absolutely say, this is not the energy I want to partake in. I cut the cord with this, and there will be other soulmates for you. We all have more than one. And then we have patience. Some things still need to be dealt with for this connection to manifest. Yeah. And I keep saying this, but if you are the dragon and you're impatient, just know that the crocodile is worth it. They are worth it. And you are being asked to have patience because your spirit team, the universe, they know more than you do. They know more than I do. And they want this to come together. But again, you are the co-creator. You can say no. And then we have, you are enough. The person you are meant to be with will love you the way that you are. You don't need to change. And that is a reminder. Especially for those times where the dragon person is really struggling with overthinking, overanalyzing. That is the best reminder here. You are enough. And this crocodile, and vice versa, the crocodile for the dragon and the dragon for the crocodile, there is so much understanding at a deeper level here, because even though you are both in different areas, different parts of your life, you're still mirroring one another. So let's see what these two cards are. These are probably more for those of you who know who this person is, but we'll see what we get. You are my everything. You are my good vibes. You are the butterflies in my stomach. You are the person that when I think about you, I smile. You are the feeling of total happiness. You are the warm feeling of being loved. You are the sunshine that breaks through the clouds on a rainy day. You are the reasons my life feels complete. You are my everything. And even if you haven't met this person, that is how you're going to feel about them, and that's how they're going to feel about you. And I almost feel like even if you haven't met this crocodile person, there is like their higher self is pushing them to do the healing, to do the work. And you are the prize in that. Let's see what this one is. And then we're going to shuffle some cards on camera. Do you think about me as much as I think about you? I wish you were next to me. I listened to the music you sent me. Are you going crazy thinking about me too? For some of you, when you listen to music, if you feel like it has a message for you, even if you haven't met this person, that is confirmation that that is exactly what's happening. For those of you that know who this is, they do think about you. They are doing the work to connect with you. Just know that. All right, let's do some quick shuffling here. We're going to do just some advice for my pile number ones, just closing advice of what you need to know. And then we will close this one out. But Spirit, for my pile number ones, what is the advice here? Also that one. All right, let's see. Pile number one, what do we have? Release self-doubt, let go of fear. Yeah. And I would say that's probably one of the only things that you're dealing with when it comes to this, is that sometimes, and I think it's just the impatience that really comes in and brings those energies about for you. Gratitude rampage lists 10 things you are thankful for. So focusing on what you're grateful for, focusing on what you want, on what you already have in your life, that is beautiful, and that's going to bring in more blessings. You are pure magic, and you are being represented by a freaking dragon. And for those of you that are the crocodile, you are still pure magic, because guess what? You are doing the work. Not a lot of people could do this. And then we have remove the limiting labels you are wearing. Yeah, we do have some things around limiting beliefs and around being a bit too rigid. So pile number one, really looking at your life and in what areas you may hold yourself to unrealistic expectations may be helpful. But pile number one, that is what I have for you. I hope this resonates. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you'd like to see next on the channel. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Two of Cups from the Seer Tarot deck. We're going to place that right there. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I also did a reading breakdown that would be very helpful in figuring out if this is the reading for you. It is timestamped below. I highly suggest you check that out. But for this reading, my intent is that my viewer is on the left, your person is on the right, and for this reading, we are looking at current energies. So where you are currently at, where your person is currently at, and yeah, let's get started. As a reminder, if you don't identify on this side or this side, this may not be your pile. Try choosing a different pile, or it just may not be a reading that has a message for you, and that's okay. So let's see your current energy. The deer. It's very interesting because we have my decor is around deers because I have so many deers outside lately. The otter. Then we have release. Okay. And we have Eve. Okay. And then for your person's energy, we have the shark, the moth. Let's do this one. We have protect. And we have beauty. Okay. So, as I said, you could be on either side. This could be someone that you already know. This could be someone that you have yet to meet. I want to start talking about the deer person. I am going to call this person the deer person. This person is going to be the shark. So when we look at the deer, let's actually start by talking about the signs. So we have Earth with oh my god, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and water with Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Um I could see a little bit of fire here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But when we are talking about the deer and the deer's current energy, my deer person is, oh, you have such beautiful energy. You have such loving energy. You have such caring energy. That being said, if somebody wants to mess around, they can F around and find out. That's the energy my deer person is currently in. So the deer right now is in a very receptive place and in a place of, it's almost like it is what it is. That's the energy that the deer is in. The deer is very focused on self, on family, on loved ones. For those of the deer that are parents, this is someone who is very much focused on family, taking care of the child or the children. There's a very nurturing energy to the deer person, and they're really investing and channeling that with their loved ones. And for some, it could even be a hobby that this person is really kind of channeling their loving energy to. The deer is very intuitive and very compassionate, nurturing, very much divine feminine energy here. And we do have the Eve card here as well. So the deer person has reached a point of acceptance. And it feels like my deer person knows that they want more, but they're also okay where they're currently at. They're also okay in their current energy and with what they've created in their life. There's a level of, I wish I had a little bit more. I wish I had love. And obviously you wouldn't click on this reading if that wasn't the case. But there's also the energy of, I do have a good life and I am content with where I am at. One thing about the deer person is that the deer person is feeling very fulfilled at this time in many areas of their life. And for those that are not, the deer person is working towards fulfillment. The deer person is working towards self-love, success, achievements. Like, this is someone who is focused on being the best version of themselves. And also, the deer person understands spiritual law and understands the law of attraction. And one thing that the deer person is doing is that the deer person is really putting in, it's almost like the deer person is saying, I am going to let life unfold in the way that it needs to. There's a lot of acceptance here. And I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you, especially if you identify as a deer person. But that's not to say that my deer person isn't open to love, because I do feel like this is someone who is open to love. And I wouldn't be surprised if, for many of you who identify as a deer, if you are currently open to dating, if you are currently open to connecting with others, you could be actively like on a dating site, you could be actively going on dates, but you're just probably not really finding what exactly it is that you're looking for. And for some of you, if you know this shark person and there's a current separation, you're just focusing on yourself and you're kind of letting things unfold in the way that they need to. And you're focusing on joy, playfulness. You are focusing on doing things that make you happy and doing things that are good for you, that are good for your soul, that are good for your overall well-being. And one thing about the deer is, I did say this, but the deer is very intuitive, very connected to spirit. So there's a lot of deeper understanding here. And I also want to say the release card to me almost looked like a lotus the first time I saw it. So there's a sense of peace, and there's a sense of, as I said, acceptance for this person. And what the dear person has been focusing on is nurturing self and self-care and self-love. And it's very interesting because the deer card and the Eve card is really all about that mothering, nurturing energy. So again, for many of you, you could be parents, or that could just be the current energy that you're in and the current energy that you are cultivating. But you are really focused on creating a good life and on being the best version of yourself. And on also, I think for the deer, just being more understanding of self and of others. So now let's talk about this shark person, because we have the shark and the moth here. So we have water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We also have air energy. Why do I keep forgetting the air signs today? I do not know, but that's what keeps on happening. But air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I am sorry, air signs. Those don't have to resonate. I am just mentioning them for extra confirmation. There is also a level of earth energy here. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and I would say very heavy on Taurus energy and maybe some Libra energy coming in here. But let's talk about the shark person and where this shark is currently at, because this shark is a bit impulsive. And I think that the shark right now is kind of really focused on self. And I would say that the shark is focused on kind of having a good time right now. This is someone who is working very hard, but they're also playing very hard as well, if you know what I mean. Like, this is someone who is, they're not just focused on work, even though they do work a lot. They also know how to have a good time and how to unwind. And for the shark person, there's a very impulsive energy to this person. There's also a very mysterious energy to this person. This isn't someone that is very easy to read. This is someone who can be very enthusiastic and who can be very spontaneous, very adventurous. I would say some of the shark are actually very focused on like traveling and their hobbies and spending time with friends. The shark is also very focused on creating stability for themselves. I do feel like the shark is currently also focused on being the best version of themselves, especially when it comes to their looks. So this could be someone who is like hitting the gym, someone who is being very mindful of what they eat, of what they consume at this point in time. Someone who is really taking care of their body, their mental health, and their emotional health. But this is also someone where, compared to the deer, the shark is in a place that is a little bit more reckless and a lot more impulsive. And it does feel like the shark right now is in a place of really looking out for themselves and really following their own truth and their own instincts. And I will say, for some, I think both of you are currently dating around. This doesn't necessarily have to be that either of you are necessarily in a connection, in a relationship, in a situationship. But especially for the shark, I do feel like this is someone who is really seeing what's out there, dating around, and really putting themselves out there. I think the deer is open to it, but the deer is way more selective than this shark person. And one thing that the shark is doing is that the shark is currently keeping things a bit surface level and distracting themselves from the truth of what is happening underneath, because I do think there's a lot coming up for the shark. And with the beauty card and with the protect and all the cards here, it does feel like the shark is trying to avoid certain things by escapism, by focusing on, again, surface level, having a good time. They keep busy. This is someone who's working. This is someone who is out having a good time. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. The shark is a very passionate person, and there's a lot of passion here. And again, they can be very, I don't want to say very impulsive, but they can be impulsive at times. And right now, it does feel like they are in a place in their life where they are being more impulsive than usual. And again, they're trying to avoid some things that are coming up. And they're very focused on their improvement of self, but this feels like the body. Like, I am going to the gym, I am making sure I am taking care of my body, I am the surface level is coming in as very important to this person right now. Let's continue the reading because I want to see more. We are going to be looking at current blockages, and I picked 2 cards for the current blockages for the deer person and 2 cards for the shark person. Let's see what we have. So current blockages for my deer person is the Page of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands. Let's see what is going on with the shark. We have, we have 2 pages, the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. And we're going to talk about, let's start with my deer, right? So as far as blockages go for the deer person, it's very interesting because part of the blockage here, there's a level of procrastination happening here. And I think that this is due to perfectionism and to fear, right? Because procrastination, perfectionism, self-criticism, they are forms of self-preservation through fear, at least in my opinion. So when it comes to blockages, especially around love for the deer person, there is a level of, and I said this because we had the release card where the deer person may be in this energy of it is what it is, but it almost feels like the deer person has reached a level of apathy in it is what it is, and allowing things to unfold and just sitting back and feeling like they don't necessarily need to do anything to move this along. And there are delays here. There's almost a lack of movement here. And what's interesting is that both of these cards, what we see is lack of movement, and they're both kind of waiting for something. And this is not to say that the deer has to go out there and find what they're looking for or force it or try to make something that isn't ready to happen. But it does feel like the deer person is going through a blockage of, this is how I'm getting it. It's almost like if I don't think about it, if I tell myself that I am okay if I never get it, then I am going to be okay. If I convince myself that I am perfectly fine with the way things are, then if it doesn't happen, it won't hurt. Does that make sense, pile number 2? Because that's how this is coming through. It's like, because it's great to be in a state of surrender, but there's a difference between surrender and giving up, and surrender and apathy. And it feels like there's currently a blockage around the belief of what could be, and the belief around what progress will be made. Where it's again like, if I sit back and I tell myself that if it's meant to be, it's going to be, and I don't do anything else with it, and I just focus on everything else is okay, then it's going to be okay. And for some of you, it feels like there's almost an acceptance of something may not happen in the way that I want it to happen and in the way that I truly desire it to happen. Let's talk about the shark person, because the energies here are somewhat similar. But when it comes to blockages, what's going on with the shark person is they are just unfocused and completely scattered. This is someone who is focused on everything else but what's going on within them. This is someone who is thinking about things and perhaps trying to take action on things, but they're spread so thin that they're not really making progress in the areas that they want to make progress in. This is someone who is currently dealing with frustrations, because it feels like the shark person is spinning their wheels, but they're not really getting where they want to be. And that's not necessarily something that they're happy with, but they're also not giving themselves a break to really take a time out and say, well, what needs to change? This shark person is someone who is currently, right? Because we're looking at their current energy. Somebody who is currently burning the candle at both ends. And they're not exactly happy with themselves. But again, there's almost an avoidance happening here of, I need to go, 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 go. And eventually it's going to come together. And what's interesting is that the energies are kind of mirroring one another, but also very different, because for the deer, it feels like I've just reached a point of apathy. And for the shark, it feels like I'm just going to throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks. And if it does, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's take a look at the root cause. What is the root cause of this for both parties? And we're going to do 2 here, 2 here. Let's see what the root cause, what is causing this. The Ace of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. The 8 of Wands. This person is just on, yeah, this is, I'm not surprised to see that 10 of Swords there. But let's talk about the deer person. So the root cause for what's happening right now for my deer person has to do with, again, this is someone who is very practical, but as important as it is to be practical, one thing that the deer needs to connect to is the third eye, the crown chakra, and hope and dreaming and expecting the best. Because there's almost like an underlying, this is a very interesting energy, and I know that most of my viewers are the deer person, but this is really like, everything is fine, everything is good, I am happy with where I am at. And there's a level of that that's true. But there's also a level of that that feels like something that has been accepted as true from a place of fear, from a place of lack. Because if I tell myself that everything is okay, even if I don't get the relationship that I want, if I don't get the life partner that I want, if no one comes into my life and turns out to be the person that I seek, the soulmate that I seek, then I'm going to be okay. And the thing is, for the deer person, that's absolutely true. you would be okay. You would thrive. You would live a good life. At the same time, there's more to that. And I think for the deer person, what needs to happen is being completely honest and saying, you know what? I am good. I do well alone. I can be alone. And if this is all that there is, that's fine. However, it can also be true that I do want someone, that I do want to find my person, that I do want to live a life with my soulmate. And both things can coexist and both things can be true. And if it doesn't happen, I can be sad about it while still knowing that I'm going to be okay. And spoiler alert, pile number 2. Even if it's not this shark person, there is someone out there for you. And what the deer person is trying to do is avoid disappointment by acceptance of where they're at. But that almost prevents the deer from dreaming bigger, from thinking bigger, and from expecting better. And that's not to say that this deer person would allow anyone to come in if they offered it, because the deer person does have very specific standards and very high standards. Like, they know what they want and what they don't want. But let's talk about this shark person. Because part of the issue with the shark person, part of the root of this, and part of what's going on is honestly the same exact thing we've been talking about. It's that the shark is avoiding their truth. The shark is avoiding going within because it feels like the shark is not the most comfortable when it comes to dealing with strong emotions, when it comes to dealing with disappointment, when it comes to pain, when it comes to just going within and being with the uncomfortable parts of self. Because what's happening here for the shark is that they've gotten so used to ignore what's happening and dealing with other things and distracting themselves and practicing certain forms of escapism that the shark at this point in time just doesn't know how to go within. So what the shark does is that the shark just finds something else to do. Whether it's a hobby, whether it's a project, whether it's a job, they're always finding something else to do, something else to focus on. And this is someone that is exhausted. This is someone that desperately seeks a break, mentally, emotionally, physically. But they're not offering themselves that. They're not giving themselves that. What they're doing is they are keeping themselves busy. They are keeping themselves, it's almost like a hamster wheel for the shark. I'm go, 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 go. And I'm not going to stop, because once I stop, this 10 of swords, right? That's when I realize that I need to take a break. That's when it may be hard for me to keep going. That's when I realize the pain that I'm dealing with and the doubts that I'm dealing with, and that I am not able to, that I have not been connecting with myself. So what do? I focus outward. This is someone who's very extroverted. This is someone who is constantly on the go. My deer is very introverted for many of you. Some of you could be extroverts, but also very self-aware. Let's take a look at the beliefs around love. And I picked these for both. Okay, just making sure. I was going to say, wait, why do I have so many? So the beliefs around love for the deer. We have the Eight of Pentacles, Pocahontas and John Smith. Dedication and skills are your tools for mastery. Focus on your craft and your hard work will result in personal growth and financial gain. And then we also have Prince Philip. I believe that's Sleeping Beauty. And we have the King of Pentacles. Your financial acumen and leadership qualities make you a pillar of stability. Lead with authority and manage your wealth with care. And then for the Shark, we have the King of Swords with Prince Adam. Is that Beauty and the Beast? I don't know. Your rationality and strategic thinking is your strengths. Lead with integrity and fairness as you make decisions that impact others. And then we have Prince Naveen. That's Princess and the Frog, I believe. Knight of Wands. You are a passionate and bold explorer. Trust your instincts and charge forward with confidence and determination. So when it comes to the beliefs around love, my dear person, you believe that love is long-term. You want a life partner. You want someone who is going to stand the test of time. You believe that relationships require dedication, perseverance. They require hard work. And your belief is you want it all or you don't want anything at all. It's like you want the dream or you would rather be alone. And I think that that's why for the Deer, some of you have this energy of like, it's okay. If it doesn't happen, it's okay because this is what I want. And if I don't get this, it's going to be okay. When it comes to your beliefs around love, you also believe that love takes hard work. And it does. In some ways, it does because you have to constantly show up. You have to constantly choose one another. But there's almost a level of hard work here that is just not true. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be difficult. Something can be hard work and it can still be very enjoyable. So that's something to keep in mind. Pile number two. Sorry, I was going to say pile number one. Especially if this resonates with you. And when it comes to the Shark person and their current beliefs around love, this is someone who is a little bit in between their beliefs. Because I do believe that the Shark person wants to have something that is stable and long lasting. But I also believe that the Shark person is in a place of having fun and enjoying themselves. And it feels like the Shark person is currently trying to figure out exactly what it is that they're ready for. And I will say, I think for many of you, you know who this is. Like, this feels like you've already met this person and you are full aware of like who this is, and there may be a separation here, especially because of where the Shark person is currently at. Because the Shark person, for many, this is someone who's currently playing the field. This is someone who's currently not necessarily ready or looking for commitment. And I do want to say for pile number two, if you chose this pile and you know who this is, even if you don't know who this is, you are the co-creator of your life. You can say, absolutely not. This is not what I want. I want different. But the Shark's current beliefs around love, they're almost overthinking it. And the Shark is almost thinking of love in terms of, like, this isn't someone who's necessarily really feeling into love and relationships. This is someone who's like being more strategic and really thinking their way through. And it's because the Shark doesn't really allow themselves to really get close to many people. That's not to say that they have never been in love. That's not to say that they're incapable of being in love. But that's to say that for the most part, the shark really enjoys having surface level and keeping people at arm's length. I want to take a look at what needs to be released. And this portion of the reading, I'm only looking at this for my viewer, which for many of you is going to be the deer person. So what needs to be released? The Ace of Swords, and we have Chaos, and the Empress with Hera, Goddess Hera there. Is it Hera? I could be mispronouncing that. Someone tell me. I'm sure you guys will. So, pile number 2. As far as what needs to be released, and I'm going to start by looking at the Ace of Swords. One thing for my pile number 2s is allow yourself to do. Allow yourself to take action. For some of you, you may be stuck in a state of fawn right now, right? We have the deer, we do have the otter there, but one thing that you're being encouraged to do is to have fun, to get out of your head and get into your body. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean dating around. That doesn't necessarily have to mean going to a bar. That could be just, you know what, I am in my head. Let me do something. Let me go for a walk. Let me ground myself. Let me bring myself back. Another thing that needs to be released here is whenever you're feeling stuck, instead of going into overthinking and overanalyzing, do something. Take action. Have some sort of movement. Because we also have the Empress here. And as far as what needs to be released, take care of yourself. Practice self-care. Connect to yourself. Feel your feelings. One big thing, and this is for either, like if you're the deer or the shark, this is going to be very true for you. One big thing that needs to happen here is you need to connect to your emotional state. You need to feel your feelings, and you need to be honest with yourself. And that is where there is mirroring happening here for both people. It's just going about it in different ways, but the energy is the same. And I will say, for those of you that are watching this, because I know some of you will, and you're saying, this isn't even like this shark person, that's not who I want. I don't want to be in that connection. The more you move into your truth, the more you are honest with yourself. And again, two opposing things can be true at once. It can be true that if you are alone, you will be okay. And it can be true that you just don't want to be alone and that you do want your soulmate. The more you become comfortable with your truth and the more you practice self-care, the more you hold space for either this person to grow, because I do think you mirror one another, or even for you to say, I've outgrown this and this isn't even something that I want. And I will say again, for many of you, you know who this shark is. You know who this person is. This is someone that you have already connected with, even if it's not a relationship, even if you are in no communication with them at this point in time. And it's time to take care of yourself. Especially mind, body, and spirit, pile number 2. And it's time to nurture yourself. Because pile number 2, a lot of what you do is that you invest your time and energy and your loving energy into other people. And that's beautiful, but give some of that to yourself as well. Let's take a look at practical steps for healing. And we are going to, again, this is for you because you are my viewer. We can't get this message to the other person. 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. Find balance. Find balance in all aspects of your life, and that's going to look different for different people. What is balance for you may not be balance for me, so on and so forth. But another thing here is In order to heal, choose yourself. Love yourself. Give to yourself. You don't have to bend over backwards. You don't have to pretend like everything is okay. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay to cry. It is okay to feel the feelings. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be sad. Pile number 2 that's really coming in. And another thing that's coming in for pile number 2s as far as practically healing, walk away from anyone or anything that is no longer serving a purpose in your life. Anyone or anything that isn't adding to your life, you can walk away from it. And for some of you, that may be this shark person. And even if you don't know them, you can say, this isn't the type of energy that I'm going to welcome in. I really want to emphasize this because this keeps coming up. You have autonomy. Use your autonomy. You are stronger than what you think. You are stronger than what you give yourself credit for, pile number 2. And practically speaking, choose yourself. Choose yourself when you are making plans. Choose yourself when you are deciding where it is. Speak up. Like if somebody wants to go out and like, let's say you're part of a friend group and you always allow other people to choose the place, the restaurant, whatever. Speak up. That's one way that you start to show up and choose yourself. Walk away from anything that is not in alignment with your highest self and anything that is part of your old reality and part of what you no longer want in your life. And accept in which areas of your life there is disappointment, there is sadness, because the only way out is through. You can't ignore it. You can't repress it because it's always going to be there. Let's take a look at some more messages here. So I did pick these love and relationship cards, and these are obstacles. Not every single one may resonate for you. Some will, some won't. Take what resonates, and we're going to talk about it as they come up. Feel unloved. You deserve someone who can support you emotionally and love you fully. And that is a very important reminder. Your person is going to show up and they're going to love you fully, and you deserve that. And for some of you, if you don't think that's possible, that is more than possible. That is the bare minimum. Being cold, you seem unapproachable because you are aloof. Try being more friendly. And for some of you, 2 things are coming up. For some of you, it's the shark that is being cold, and you know this person and they're kind of just keeping you at an arm's length. What you want to do about that, that's you. You have autonomy. For others of you, this is a reminder that it is okay to accept what it is that you want. And again, it's one thing to say, if I don't get it, I'll be fine. But it's another thing to lie to yourself and to others and say that you don't want it at all. We have too much. You tell others too much about yourself all at once. Sit back and listen more. And I think for some of you, you may also feel like you are too much, and that is not true. Another thing that's coming through is be very observant about people, because actions speak louder than words. Especially if you know this shark person. Love sucks. You have stopped believing in love. Let yourself heal. You can be open again. And I think that there is a level of this happening for both of you, but I think for the shark is kind of in this energy of just keeping things surface level at this point. And I think both of you are healing. Let's see what else we have. We have, what did I just say? Actions speak louder than words. If you want to know what someone is feeling, watch what they are doing. And that's going to be something that I think that my pile number 2s are learning, is to really not pay attention to what people are necessarily saying, but look at what they're doing. And also look at your own actions and if they align with what it is that you want to put out there. Past lives, you have known this person before. It is a soulmate from a past lifetime. For many of you, I would be shocked if you are listening to pile number 2 and you've made it this far and you don't know who that person is. Shocked. Because I think for many of you, you know who this is. And for many of you, you are on the fence. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I am here to just give you the messages. But I do want you to know that you deserve the best. We have overthinking. Playing negative scenarios in your head is creating issues which weren't there at first. So again, for this group, when you are overthinking, grounding yourself, especially when you are overthinking about what's possible, like, oh, I'm never going to find X, Y, and Z. This is not possible. That's not true. Let's take a look at these two, and then I'm going to do some shuffling on camera to get advice for you and close the reading out. But these letters are what this shark person would say to you if you are the deer, or what the deer would say if you are the shark person. But I think most of you are the deer. Says truth. The truth hurts, but I would kill for you. You do know that, don't you? And I think truth is very important here. And that could be what this person would say to you. But look at their actions. Are their actions matching that? Then we have, I want to always be your reason. You always ask me how you got so lucky, but my love, the lucky one is me. And I will say, pile number 2, for those of you that are watching this and you are not, like, you're not happy, this isn't necessarily the type of energy you want in your life, or you decide that you're not going to wait for anyone, whatever the case may be. If you're watching this, just know that there is someone out there for you, that you do have a soulmate that you could be very happy with and very satisfied with. And that could be a life partner. And it could be this shark. Like, this shark can, because we are looking at the shark's current energy. So this shark could absolutely get their stuff together. And I think that for this group, whether you know this person or not, as you grow and evolve, this person is either going to grow and evolve and meet you where you're at, or there will be a different soulmate that comes in that's even better and a better match for you. All right, Spirit, for my pile number 2s, what do my pile number 2s need to know? What is the closing advice here? It's not that one. It's this one. Okay, let's see. Bottom of the deck, what do we have? Align your intentions with your actions. Yep. And I said this. Are you allowing your actions to speak louder than your words? Are you walking the talk? If you want a relationship, are you putting yourself out there? That's not just about the other person. It's about you as well. So align your intentions with your actions. Ask for help. It doesn't make you weak. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with your friends. Talk to people. Connect with people. Slow down and rest. You need it. So yeah, give yourself a break. And unleash your inner wild child. Get up and dance. Yeah, for this group, especially if you are the deer, tap into your otter energy. Tap into that playful energy. Have fun. Pile number 2, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It helps me out. Leave a comment if you feel like you want to. Stay tuned for more videos. Let me know what else you'd like to see next in the comments below. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and we will talk soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the 2 of Cups from the Modern Love Tarot deck. I'm going to place that right over here for you. I did do a reading breakdown at the beginning. I did timestamp it below. I highly, highly suggest you check that out. That will let you know what to expect from the reading and if this is the reading for you. Also, as a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. And we are going to start by looking at your current energy and your person, your soulmate's energy. And this could be somebody that you have met. This could be somebody that is completely new that you have yet to meet. As a reminder, if you are not here and you are not here, meaning that you don't identify here and you don't identify here, this is not your pile. Try picking a different pile. Or it could be that this reading doesn't have a message for you, and that is okay. But let's get started with my viewer's energy. This is my intention that this was my viewer. So let's see what we have here. Oh, we have the fish. I don't know why that just made me think of Avatar, probably because of the color on the moon. The camel. We have Terra and that's Earth. And we have Torn. Okay. For your person's energy, what do we have here? Phoenix. Okay. Scorpion. Then we have Mother Earth. And finally, we have Sleep. Okay, so let's talk about my viewer. And we have the fish here with water energy, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have the camel. Wait a minute. I think the camel in this deck is fire energy. Yeah, that's sorry, pile number 3. Yeah, that's fire. Because I'm looking at for some reason I was sure that the camel was going to be Earth, but it's actually fire because that is the fire symbol, the fire element symbol. So we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We also have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn represented here. And we'll talk about the Phoenix person in a bit. But let's start with your energy, the fish energy, because right now, your current energy is pretty restless. Your current energy is one of change, and there's a lot of shifts happening here. For my pile number 3s, I do feel this is a pretty emotional time. I also feel like this is a time where you are being called to adapt to your surroundings. So you could be going through a period of change and you could be wanting to ground yourself and center yourself. And it could just be that there's a lot of change happening around you. And you're also having to rely on yourself a lot at this point. This is a very, we do have the Torn card here, so I think for some of you, this is a very difficult time. I know you can't see it because of the ring light, but look at this card here. That is quite the depiction of, something being torn, of something being not what it usually is. And what my pile number 3s, what this fish person is seeking is safety, security, stability. And right now, those things feel quite a bit out of reach. It could be changes with your career. It could be changes in your personal life. It could be changes in a relationship. But there are a lot of things that are shifting here for my pile number 3s. And it feels like my pile number 3s are desperately seeking to catch their footing. But it doesn't feel like right now you necessarily know which way is up and which way is down. And there's a level of being a bit wary right now, especially when it comes to connections. And one thing that my fish person is currently working through is figuring out exactly what it is that they want, not only in life, but in relationships. Like, it feels like the fish is feeling a bit lost, the fish is feeling a bit overwhelmed at this time. And what the fish is seeking is clarity on next steps. And there could be a level of anger here for the fish because of the things that have transpired lately. And one thing that the fish is really trying to do is to find peace and harmony within themselves and within the situation that they're currently going through. And I do feel for some of the fish, there is a level of something that has been lost. Again, that could be different things for different people. For some, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could just be fill in the blank. Many different, this could show up as anything, but it does feel like there's a level of loss here that is showing up for the fish. And again, the fish is very much a very emotional creature because the fish is able to swim in deep waters. And one thing that's coming through as well is that the fish is really having a hard time with grounding themselves in their truth and figuring out what the truth is. Again, there's a level of confusion here. There's a level of just feeling like you are being tossed around and that you are unable to catch your footing, or you're unable to make a choice when it comes to something important in your life at this time. And the fish is feeling a bit, what's the word I want to use here? I don't want to say torn because the card is quite literally torn, but the fish is feeling a bit not themselves at this time. And there's a level of emptiness happening for the fish right now. And this could even be loneliness for some. And there's a reminder here. There's a lot of thinking here about something that could have been or was that no longer is. There is a level of pain here. But again, the fish is trying to make the best of it, and the fish is trying to ground their energy. And what's interesting is that the phoenix is matching the fish's energy to some degree. And with the phoenix person, we have the fire signs represented, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the earth signs represented, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the phoenix person is currently going through a difficult period of time as well. And the phoenix person is going through a awakening, through a rebirth, if you will. You know, the phoenix is known to, it catches on fire and it is reborn from its own ashes. And the phoenix person is also pretty isolated at this point. Both of these people are going through it, but they're going through it on their own. And it feels like the fish is still trying to figure out what the right thing is, what the next steps are. But the phoenix has kind of decided that the phoenix is going to go within and the phoenix is going to practice self-care. And the phoenix is more comfortable with this period of the unknown, especially more comfortable than the fish, I would say. But the phoenix is also feeling there's almost resentment here that the phoenix is currently experiencing towards the situation, towards what has been happening here. And the phoenix is trying to go within and do whatever they need to do to be okay, to take care of their energy and to be okay. And the Phoenix is seeking clarity. And the Phoenix does feel like they've reached a level of clarity. I will say that. Whereas I think the fish is still kind of in the dark night of the soul, and the fish is still struggling to find clarity and to find answers and solutions to what they're going through. The Phoenix has, it feels like they've reached a level of understanding and a level of being honest with themselves and being accepting of whatever has transpired. And I would not be surprised if the fish and the Phoenix already know one another. And part of what's happening here is something that happened that involved the other person. For those of you who have not met this person, whatever the Phoenix is going through, it's really put their entire life into question for them. Like, they are really having to sit with themselves and really look at where they are in life and where they're headed and figure out if they are in the right place. And again, it feels that way for the fish as well, but it feels like the fish is still kind of lost in the sauce, where the Phoenix is a little bit more determined and has gained a level of clarity. And it feels like the Phoenix has kind of created their own clarity. Like, it's like they've decided on something and they've chosen that that is the truth, that is the experience, and that is what they're going to stick to. But this Phoenix person is also struggling with something that is unresolved. And they are trying to come to terms with whatever that is. And that's why I feel like for some of you, this could be somebody that you already know and somebody that may be involved in exactly what the energies are bringing in at this time. But part of what the Phoenix person is focusing on is themselves and their overall well-being and taking care of what it is that they need to in order to be the best version of themselves. And I will also say that the Phoenix person is taking care of their mental health right now. I would not be surprised if the Phoenix person is currently seeing a mental health professional or doing some sort of mental health work, even if it's on their own. And that could be true for the fish as well, not for all of them, but for some. But overall, there is a lot of matching energy to both of these people. It's just they're dealing with it in very different ways. But they're both really trying to ground their energies at this point in time. Let's take a look at what the current blockages are for both of these people. So we're going to look at current blockages here and current blockages here. So for the fish person, what are the current blockages? We have the Hierophant and we have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we have the King of Wands as a blockage for the Phoenix. And we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so a lot of Wands energy there, a lot of fire energy there. So for the fish person, there are some blockages at this time around... First of all, this person feels very overwhelmed, very lost, very unsure of what's happening and what is next. There's a level here of something not being fair, and there's a level here of the fish person just being very overwhelmed and feeling very lost. And there's something that the fish person is not seeing clearly. And for some, they're not seeing it clearly because it's a blind spot and they're almost refusing to see it clearly. For others, it's there's a need to see something from a different perspective here. But for my fish person, there's been a level of betrayal. There's been a level of deceit that has happened. And the fish is struggling with, it's like grappling with the truth of what is, seeing things for what they are, accepting things for what they are. And wanting things to be different. Again, there's a dark night of the soul for a lot of the fish happening right now. And the fish is very torn when it comes to what needs to happen next. But a big blockage is the fish cannot see things for what they are. Whether that is because they're telling themselves a story, or that could be they're just still refusing to see things for what they are. But there is a struggle to acknowledge what is happening and what the truth of what their current experience is. When it comes to the Phoenix is currently struggling with a blockage around. It's almost like the Phoenix is focused on everything else but what actually requires their attention. The Phoenix is currently dealing with very strong emotions, with very fiery emotions. And one thing that the Phoenix is currently working through is accepting. There's a lot of mirrored energy here because they're both of these people are struggling with the truth of what's happening. It feels like the Phoenix thinks that they understand everything that's happening, but they're looking at things from a very emotional point of view. And there's a level of recklessness for the Phoenix where they may be rushing themselves to accept what is currently happening, or to force themselves to be ahead of where they're currently at in their process. And for the Phoenix, they're being a bit too. They're not really sitting with themselves and their emotions. They're really being outwardly focused and pushing through, bypassing some of the things that are coming up for them. And one thing that the Phoenix is doing is, for some, the Phoenix is really masking where they're currently at. And they are hiding their current truth and their current feelings. It's like they're choosing to show a mask out into the world. And that's creating a blockage because they're not sitting with their authenticity. I want to see where this is coming from. Let's take a look at what's the root of what's happening here, because this is very interesting energy. Pile number 3. What is the root here? Everything is fine. That's actually also the same image as the 10 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. What is the root of what's happening here? The 2 of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So for the fish, again, there's something that the fish is avoiding to see for what it is. And it could be the fish is absolutely over their current situation. And the fish is trying to bypass and get to the next stage without acknowledging where they're currently at. And without acknowledging what has currently happened. And there's a lot of emotions that the fish is trying to ignore. And one thing is here that there's a level of like feeling helpless that the fish is dealing with. And there's a level of loss that has happened here for the fish. But the fish is not necessarily wanting to see or accept what has happened for what it is. It's like if I ignore it, everything is fine. If I it's some of the fish, like you could be scrolling on your phone in order to avoid what you are feeling, in order to avoid what is coming up for you. There's a lot of avoidance here for this fish person. And a lot of this, there's almost an energy here of this has been caused by being in a similar situation, or in that same, whatever caused this, my fish person overstated. And for some, there was no choice in the matter. There was no choice. Like, you didn't feel like you had a choice. Like, maybe somebody betrayed you and then you had to take action. Maybe somebody decided to walk away and you didn't really get the opportunity to. It almost feels like your choice was taken away from you in some way. And when we talk about the Phoenix is trying to focus on the positive. The Phoenix is trying to move on with something. But there are emotional blocks here for the Phoenix that the Phoenix is not really recognizing or really trying to see. I would not be surprised if these two people are currently in separation with one another. Because it feels like the Phoenix has decided, like, I am going to move on and I'm going to make the best out of this. Whereas the fish is still feeling everything, but also feeling completely overwhelmed to the point of shutdown. And this Phoenix is currently in the energy of moving forward and taking care of self. And it feels like I'm going to move forward, but I'm also protecting my heart. I'm also protecting myself, and I am also going to do whatever it is that I need to do for myself. So both of these energies, one is still sitting in whatever happens, and this could be with one another. It doesn't necessarily have to be. While the other person is trying to, again, being represented by the Phoenix, this person is trying to just pick up the pieces and move away and move forward without necessarily acknowledging what's happening, whereas the fish is kind of sitting in apathy, sitting in frustration, sitting in stagnancy without necessarily dealing with what's happening. So both of you, whether this is about one another or not, there is a mirrored energy of the situations are very similar. How each person is handling it is completely different. One is trying to just fake it till you make it, which is the Phoenix. The fish is just struggling to even come to terms with what is currently happening for them. I want to see what the current beliefs around love are for both of these people. Pile number 3, let's see here for the fish. We have Tinkerbell with the star. Hope and inspiration light your way. Follow your dreams, for the universe has aligned in your favor. And then we have the Hermit, Beauty and the Beast. Take time for introspection and self-discovery. The answers you seek are within. Shine your light on your path ahead. And for the Phoenix, we have the Six of Cups, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Reconnect with the innocence and joy of your past. Nostalgia and heartfelt reunion brings warmth and fond memories to your life. And then we also have, the Lovers with Prince Philip and Aurora with love and harmony surround you. Embrace the power of connection and unity in both your relationships and choices. Okay, so let's talk about this. For my fish, the current energy here is when it comes to love, the beliefs that the fish has around love, the fish is not sure. The fish is trying to figure that out now, because I feel like the fish was very sure of what their beliefs were, and the fish was very sure of what they wanted in love, but it feels like the fish is going through changes, and the fish is trying to figure that out and go within right now. Whatever has happened here, there's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of hurt here, and it could have to do with a romantic relationship. It could be something else, but there's a lot of pain here to the point where this person is really going within themselves. Whereas the Phoenix, when it comes to love and their relationships around love, this is someone who still has hope, who still believes in love, but it feels like the Phoenix person is really almost romanticizing love and relationships, and they are holding a vision of what the perfect relationship is, and they believe that that's going to happen, and they believe that that's possible, and that's what they believe love is. And one thing about the Phoenix is that they may be a bit too rigid when it comes to their ideas around what love and a relationship should be. But they're kind of really approaching this from a very romanticized way. And the fish is currently just like, I really do feel the fish is still trying to connect to spirit and say, I still have hope. I still have, I still want this. But they're also really, really withdrawing from connections and relationships as a whole, where this person is kind of holding on to the overall version of what it could be, but it doesn't feel like either of these people are necessarily taking action on this. And it does feel like the Phoenix may be romanticizing a very specific relationship. Even if it's not a relationship they were in or they had, it could be like a relationship that they admired, that they are really romanticizing and really holding as almost like the end all be all. That's coming through here very clearly, but the fish has withdrawn, and the fish is, it's like, I have faith and hope, and I hope this comes together, but also I'm taking a step back. Both of these people have been hurt. And I think for some, it's by each other. Let's take a look at what needs to be released here. And this is for my viewer. Regardless of who you are, what needs to be released is what you, my viewer, need to release, because I can't give advice to the other person. But what needs to be released here? The Knight of Cups and Judgment. Okay. So pile number 3. When it comes to love and what needs to be released, what we have here is, first of all, you need to be open to love. Because I think that, and I've said this many times, but for many, my viewer, you are the fish. And what has happened here is that you may have lost faith in love. You may have lost the belief in love. Like, you may be watching this out of curiosity. You may be open to it, but there may be a part of you that really does not believe in love at this point in time, or at least a part of you that is feeling very overprotective of your heart, because you may be feeling like you've been hurt. You're not in the place where you are willing to get hurt again, or, I mean, who the heck wants to get hurt, right? But you may be in this place where you are overprotecting your heart, where you are not open to love, where you are kind of going through back and forth energy of, do I want to open myself up to this, or do I want to close myself up to love? And there could be a lot of disappointment here. And I think there is a lot of disappointment here. And it's easier said than done, but part of what needs to be released is that idea of perhaps not being open to love, even though you know truly deep down that's what you want. And if you're watching this, my guess is that is what you want, because you wouldn't be watching this otherwise. And what also needs to be released is, and I don't want to say that this needs to be released as much as this needs to be integrated, but this is about integrating the shadow parts of self. And this is also about being honest with yourself, with your intentions, with your truth, and being accepting of your truth and where you are at. And even if you are in a place where everything feels confusing, everything feels like you don't know what's next, you don't know what's up or what's down, sitting with yourself and holding space for those aspects of yourself. And I think for this group, especially working with the moon, working with, whether it's the full moon, the new moon, working with the moon cycles, very important. But also recognizing your own cycles in your life and what cycles you are currently working through. And another thing that needs to be, I don't want to say released, but it's almost like unleashed, is your true essence. Who it is that you are and all that you are. And part of what needs to happen here for my pile number 3s is rediscovery of self. Because you've been feeling overwhelmed. You've been feeling, again, we have the 4 of Cups. That's a lot of frustration, a lot of apathy. That is just being over it. And looking to the past and really mourning what didn't work out, or what, could have, should have, would have, but it didn't actually come to fruition. And accepting your truth and accepting who you are, giving yourself that love and acceptance. Because for some of you, you've been really hard on yourself and you've been rejecting the parts of yourself that aren't showing up as you'd like. I want to see, let's take a look at healing here. Just practical steps for healing. 10 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands. Pile number 3, get curious. Also, get clear about what it is that you want and understand that what you want is possible. Understand that something that has not worked out for you in the past, it's not a punishment. It's to create space for something even better to come through. And for this group, really expanding your understanding of what a relationship is and what it could be. And this is a group where giving yourself time to explore, giving yourself time to have more fun, giving yourself time to connect with the people that are already around you, that you already love, that love you. Not being afraid to speak up and speak your truth. Also coming in as very important here. And don't be afraid to ask for help, to talk to the people that you love. And one thing that's coming through here, pile number 3, is that you will build a legacy with someone. You will leave a legacy behind if that is what you seek. Trust that it can happen for you. And with this 2 of Wands, when it comes to like practical things that you can do to heal, believe in the possibilities. Connect to what you think is possible and what you want, and go on new adventures. Go on, explore, have fun, plan your future, dare to dream big. Let's see. And I pick these cards, and they're not all going to resonate with everyone, but I pick these cards as just like blockages that are here. Rejection: build your confidence by dating a lot and find out what people like about you. And if there has been rejection here, that has nothing to do with you. And one thing about especially the fish here, building confidence would be very helpful at this time. Then we have, getting hurt. All love comes with the risk of losing it. Don't be afraid. Really, this says floss. Take a chance. Don't be afraid of loss is what it should say. But take a chance. And there's a lot of fears. And I think especially for the fish, I think for the phoenix too, but it feels like the phoenix has kind of decided that they're just going to make the best of it. Let's see what else we have here. Mixed signals: you don't let others know you are interested. Flirt and be approachable. And I also think for some of you, especially if you know who this phoenix is, you may be getting mixed signals from them. And this is also just the confusion that exists within both of you at this time, because I think both of you are kind of going through a level of confusion. The fish probably more so than the phoenix, because the phoenix has kind of taken this is my choice, this is what I'm going to experience, this is what I'm going to do. And I almost wonder if in this group we kind of have more of a split where more of you will identify with the phoenix than the fish. Let's see what else we have here. Forgive and release: you are stronger when you carry love and forgiveness rather than our anger. And I think both of you, especially the fish, it's going through this period of just releasing, and forgiving isn't always about the other person. It's about allowing ourselves to be free of the burden of anger and the burden of just resentment, because that stuff eats away at you. Then we have pay attention to the red flags, know when the warning signs of what an unhealthy connection looks like. And this is a reminder, pile number 3, that you know what's best and to do what is best for you. Boundaries: you need to teach people how to treat you by being clear on what you will or won't allow. And pile number 3, having boundaries with yourself as well, with how you invest your energy and what you give your energy to. But if this is a connection that was already existing, it feels like it's just undecided right now if this is even going to come back together. And I feel like the fish is very undecided at this point, very overwhelmed. If this is not someone that you know, there has to be choices here on both sides, but especially on the side of the fish. Let's see what this is, because I picked this. This is just what the energy here is, what would be said. For some of you, if you know who this is, this would be from your person. This could also just be a higher self message from your person, but this could also just not apply to you, so take it as it resonates. We have, I wish I could share my life with you again. Miss perfect mirror acceptance. Yeah, for some of you, you are in separation. You know who this was. This could have been someone that you thought you were going to grow old with, and that's why you were drawn to this specific card. Because I wasn't going to choose that card as one of the options, and it really wanted to come out. And then we have, what are you doing tonight? Another quiet night at home, or are you going out? I'm not doing much of anything. And for some of you, that's the energy that you've been in, of just staying in, going within, not really being very social. And that's part of the advice. Get out, have fun. And for some of you, you may hear from this person. This is a timeless reading because I'm recording this. We are in a Mercury retrograde. So someone here may reach out, especially if you already know who this is. But for those of you who haven't met this person, who are seeking a connection, get out there. Put yourself out there. Whatever that means for you. Because that's going to help you to meet people. Let's see what the closing advice is for my pile number 3s. Spirit, for my pile number 3s, what advice do you have for my pile number 3s? What do my pile number 3s need to know? Align your intentions with your actions. Some of you may have been drawn to a different pile because I have gotten a few things that may. But with align your intentions to your actions, again, if you want a relationship, how can you get there? If you want to draw in your soulmate, how can you get there? If you want to connect with someone, how do you get there? Being very intentional. And for my fish, especially if you are the fish, it's time to reconnect to your life, because right now there's a disconnect happening and you may be just feeling, again, in that hermit mode, feeling overwhelmed and letting life pass you by. And this is by no means a judgment, because I've been there and life can be so hard. But this is a invitation to really ask yourself, how can I feel more present and more connected? Then we have gratitude, rampage list, 10 things that you're thankful for. So doing a gratitude list, really connecting to your body and to your experience and finding what is going right in your life, or how you can create more of what you want. Then we have stay away from drama today. Yeah. And be very careful with, especially if you are the fish and you're going through it, don't entertain people or situations that are just going to bring in more drama. Find what brings peace. Find what brings calm into your life. And then set your intentions with your heart and soul. Yeah, pile number 3, get really clear about what it is that you want. And what's interesting is, for this pile, it really almost feels like this Phoenix person isn't really even that important at this point in time. Whether you know them or not, it just feels like the messages are mainly for you. And whatever this is, it's going to come together at the right time, whether it's somebody that you know or somebody that you don't know, or whether it's somebody that you choose to move away from. Even if you even haven't met them yet, you can absolutely do that. But this is about you reconnecting. And the same applies whether you're here or there. It's like, this is about the individuals. And as you do what you need to do for yourself, then the gap is bridged. Pile number 3, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the comment section below. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.